Hi guys, so I'm going to read Kingdom Come number 2. So the actual cover is just a cropped version of this with Kingdom Come on the top. But this is like the full image that's seen in the trade paperbacks. So it depicts the Justice League in the Kingdom Come universe. So from what I can identify from left to right, so there's Red Hood, Abigail Hunkel, who's the silver superhero. Mary Marvel, Hawkman, Green Lantern. I think that's supposed to be Elena Strange, the daughter of Adam Strange. Captain Marvel Jr., who's grown up. The Human Bomb. Dr. Midnight, who's a ghost. The Flash. Captain Comet, who's a really obscure character. Captain Marvel Jr. and Mary Marvel's son is up here. I think that's Bullet Man and Bullet Girl are very obscure characters. Brainiac's daughter. Cyborg, who became the new Robot Man. Starman, Guardian, I think that's supposed to be Guardian. There's a Superman robot, Hourman, Sandman. I don't know who I think this woman's supposed to be Red Tornado's daughter or granddaughter. Doll Girl. Mr. Mr. Miracle's daughter and Big Barda's daughter. For some reason, Samson, the mythological hero. Atom Smasher. Power Girl, Aquaman, the originally Aqualad, but he took the Garth version of Aqualad, the original one, who became the new Aquaman. Superman, Red Arrow, there's Norman McKay, the main character. Red Robin, Dick Grayson. Wonder Woman, the Ray, and Wonder Girl, or Troya, or whatever. And then there's the newer Red Tornado. So that's all the characters on the cover I identified, I think. But Chapter 2, Truth and Justice. And I'm also going to alter Norman McKay's voice, because when I was doing it, I didn't know what I was doing. So I'm sorry about that. But yeah, his voice was kind of bad in that. So I'm going to try to make his voice sound like what he actually looks like. And I saw the 7 angels which stood before God. And another angel came and stood at the altar, having a golden censer. And the angel took the censer, and filled it with fire of the altar. And the 7 angels prepared themselves to sound. Angels. No, I'm with the angel, aren't I? Why have you taken me? Or where have you taken me? I no longer have any sense of time or place. Time has little meaning where we walk, Norman McKay. We move freely from moment to moment. Guided by your visions, I show you only which we must see. You are disoriented? Enormously. I wasn't really asleep, and yet I was dreaming again. Were you? This is my country. For years, the Americommando and his Minutemen have protected the U.S. from foreign threats, only to have overlooked the most insidious menace of all. The poor, tired, huddled masses camping on our shores, begging citizenship. You immigrants dare expect sanctuary? America's not as big as it used to be. For God's sake, Kansas is gone. We can't house you now. We can't even feed you now. But still you force yourselves on us. Well, no more. Today, the Americommando declares war on the wretched refuse. At the command of the Brain Trust, my Minutemen will cleanse America's shores. We will defend this nation against... Huh? Defend yourself, Americommando. This land is ours to guard.
America, love it?
Or leave it. Good God, the bystanders. These aren't heroes. They're madmen. They're ready to battle over territory without bothering to care who's caught between them. Someone should do something. Indeed. And there's the Justice League members, which I was talking about. So Superman, Wonder Woman, the Ray, Hawkman, Green Lantern, the Flash, and Power Girl, or Power Woman. Angels. No, not angels. Gods themselves. Superman had returned. In doing so, drawing from seclusion the titans of yesteryear. Their enemies' emerald flashes and scarlet strobes lighting the darkness of the day.
No, the Minutemen are distracted. We're losing our mental link. Then concentrate. Command them to fire at anything that moves. Tell them.
Oh. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, guy. I've noticed that in this... I've been recording this video, and there's a lot of lag going on. So I'm sorry about if that happens, but... Anyway, so these Brain Trust guys get knocked out, and it's Red Robin knocks them out. So Dick Grayson. Over the thunder of panic, I hear names unfamiliar. Hawkman, Robin, the Ray. They sweep their foes aside like tenpins, while Wonder Woman protects the innocents. With a final red glare, the fight is over. Below, the bystanders buzz with gratitude. The reporters with questions. Really them?
Seen you in years.
Years? Hell, a lifetime. Where have you been all this? Story of the century. Where are they going? Wait. Quick, Radio Midtown, and let them know they're headed for the UN building. You heard me. Hold page 1.
Second coming of Superman.
Making a statement. Everybody shut up, will ya? When this guy talks, we listen. Good afternoon. Many of you may remember us. We've been away for a while. That was our mistake. In our absence, a new breed of metahumans has arisen. A vast phalanx of self-styled heroes unwilling to preserve life or defend the defenseless. A legion of vigilantes who have perverted their great powers, who have forsworn the responsibilities due them. We have returned to teach them the meaning of truth and justice. Together, we will guide this new breed with wisdom and, if necessary, with force. Above all, we will restore order. We will make things right again. Will there be others? Our ranks will grow. Are you prepared to shut down those who don't honor your principles? I don't anticipate anyone acting without our sanction. Anyone? Would that include Magog? Superman, are you truly prepared to confront Magog in light of what has gone on before?
Magog will be dealt with, if he surfaces. Given the consequence of his actions in Kansas, that seems unlikely.
But what about responsible for millions?
other heroes afraid of him.
Really solving the problem? That is all. It's certainly enough for one day. Ladies and gentlemen of the delegation, is anyone here delighted with what we've just heard? No? Why am I not surprised?
There is a fear in the room.
No, a validation of fear. Long have these mortals suspected that they are no longer the captains of humanity's destiny. Their suspicions have just been confirmed.
You said you're here to judge a coming evil. Superman is somehow entwined in this sin. But what exactly is it?
The answer to that question remains locked in your prophetic dreams, McKay. What do you see? What do you hear?
A jumble of images. A cacophony of apocalyptic verse. It still makes so little sense. Superman said his league would grow. Who else will he call to his side?
We shall see.
So he was going over Gotham City, and he goes to Wayne Manor, so it's all destroyed. And he goes to the Batcave. Bruce, I know you're down here. You can't hide from me. I bow to your superior wisdom. After all, you know all about hiding, don't you, Clark? Don't call me Clark. What happened to the manor? Once my identity got exposed, Bane and Two-Face happened to it. Doesn't matter. I have everything I need down here. Besides, it's not as if anyone intrudes on me. That hardly ever happens. Clark. That's right. Someone told me your knights became free once genocide blew up Arkham Asylum, and everyone in it. Not to mention Belle Rev Prison and Blackgate. Not an action I'd condone. But tell me the thought of it doesn't give your invulnerable skin a little tingle. I don't have that dark of a side. Tell that to your tailor. Black is a new look for you. Bruce, the League needs you. I'm busy. 25 and 32. Resume patrol. Too busy to help save the world? The crisis at hand isn't new, Clark. Where have you been? Oh, I'm sorry. Perhaps I should ask Magog. Frictions have been building to a head for years, Clark. The metahuman population boomed while you were gone. Once ordinary folks decided you and I were too gentle and old-fashioned to face the challenges of the 21st century. They wanted their heroes stronger and more ruthless. Be careful what you wish for. Maneuver 12. Right now, the metahumans have the keys to Earth's kingdom. Wresting control is a delicate matter. It requires finesse and meticulous, careful planning against those enemies more hidden. But it can be done. Without, I might add, Superman and the Justice League booming into town. Punching now, asking questions later. Dick doesn't see it that way. You got him to reclaim the Robin mantle. Is that supposed to sway me? Try harder. He and I never did see completely eye to eye. I have my own controls in place, thank you. They may be slower and more methodical than yours, but they get results. You used to brag that Metropolis was a utopia next to Gotham. Now who has the utopia?
Some paradise. From what I can see, Gotham is nearly a police state. You always favored scaring people into obeying the law. But this? You're willing to turn ordinary citizens into a superstitious, cowardly lot?
They'll fear me more than they'll trust you. I don't trust you. After all, you left. I stayed. We're not limited to Gotham, Clark. We've built a network that extends from here all the way through Star City.
We?
I have allies. Human allies, a little. More in tune than your friends to humanity's needs. We don't want to rule the world. We just want to straighten it out. Our way. By ourselves.
Then you're sure you won't join me?
For a man who can hear clouds scrape together, you don't listen very well. The only thing I wonder about your down and dirty, quick and fast totalitarian solutions is whether I'd be the first to be reformed by your new regime. Goodbye, Clark.
Now, there's an Easter egg here where Batmite is on one of the screens. I don't know what panel it is, though. I think it's... Oh, there it is. So that's Batmite. You can barely see him, but that was the character back in the 1950s. He was like a Batman's version of Mr. Mxyzptlk. But, yeah, so Batman and Superman are disagreeing. I think it's very complicated, but I think, yes, Superman, or Batman has like a inferiority complex with Superman. Like, he thinks that Superman thinks he's better than him, and he wants to control everyone with people that has superpowers. He thinks that Superman knows, or is insisting upon himself that he knows what's good and evil. But Batman believes that people have more ambiguous morals. I think that's generally what he's supposed to say, or they're talking about anyway. But Batman's very bitter at Superman because he left. But anyway.
He knew we were here. I could feel his x-rays. Hell, I'm probably sterile now.
Let it go, love.
Who? Oliver Queen. Dinah Lance. Ted Kord.
Oh, there's Batmite again. Here. So it's another cameo.
Urban Warriors.
Actually, Ollie, given the low level of rotogens involved, I calculate nothing intrinsically harmful about...
Stop making the world safe for science, Beetle. Let an old man be paranoid. Of course, if they're really after you, it ain't paranoia. Is it, Bats?
In time, the League will do serious damage. If they're allowed into our arena, the world is doomed. Superman has no idea what he's really up against. Fortunately, we have our own team to call into play.
So yeah, so they're the outsiders in Kingdom Come. So there's Dr. Fate, Wildcat, Zatanna's son, who is also called Zatara, Elongated Man, Jade, the Obsidian, Black Canary's daughter, Catgirl, I think that's supposed to be Black Condor, Changeling or Beast Boy. I don't know who this is. He's like a Japanese superhero. I think Arsenal or Red Arrow's daughter. I think her name is Red Hood in the story. Nothing to do with... there's a lot of characters who don't have names in the story, but they're named in like behind the scenes stuff, and I read all that when
I was a kid when I had this comic. So that's how I know so much about, like, all the stuff in it, because I reread it a lot of times. But, does Batman ever not have a plan? We've got contacts across the world. It's time we drew that web tight.
Were they ever friends? Superman and Batman? The way they bicker, it's hard to tell.
Great minds do not always think alike. In their day, they were the truest representatives of their kind.
So the flashback sequences of Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman... Well, Superman and Batman are from their first appearances. Wonder Woman, I think, is from Wonder Woman #1, which wasn't her first appearance, but it's kind of an iconic... I think it's from that comic anyway, I can't remember. I know one of them she was riding a horse, like in this flashback thing.
They were the truest representatives of their kind. One, the zenith of human fortitude and ambition. The other, the pinnacle of otherworldly power.
Otherworldly? Of course. Superman is an alien.
An accident of birth. For most of his life, he walked among the humans as well as above them. He remained tethered to human concerns through the love of an earthly woman until her life was stolen.
And Wonder Woman?
Like Superman, a paradox. Eternal princess of the Amazons, she is both an ambassador of peace and a master of warfare. Of all Superman's lieutenants, it is she who bears watching most closely.
And so, as hours fold into days, we bear silent witness to Superman's squad, while they silence skirmish after skirmish. Whenever possible, Superman negotiates peace.
So there's kind of like an Easter egg here. Again, I'm sorry I'm like cutting a lot, but there's a lot of like content because Alex Ross is such a good artist. Like he has all these little secrets he puts in these comics. So Superman's shaking hands with Guardian because Guardian is in the same city as in Metropolis. Guardian is, and he's friends with Superman in the comics. So, and Wonder Woman and Wonder Girl, or the former Wonder Girl, are holding hands because they're sisters. And Robin's talking to Cyborg, who's now Robot Man, because they're in the Teen Titans. And Green Lantern and Hawkman are talking to Dr. Midnight because they were in the Justice Society. I don't know if anybody else pointed this out, but this specific detail was kind of interesting.
Whenever impossible, he enforces it. At every turn, transforming enemies into allies. All the while, a world hungry for hope gradually surrenders its fear to the skies. With a cadence almost military, the League marches from shore to shore. Together, they act as an unstoppable unit, breaking rank. Only occasionally.
Don't worry, ma'am. I'll handle this.
My car!
Diana? Diana, take a breath. They're not evil. They're just misguided.
How badly? If they want to act like warriors, I'll show them war.
You're right. They seem to have learned little regard for human life. And there is nothing more sacred than that.
I said 2 sugars.
You ham.
I feel nauseated. and not for the first time.
Sorry, mortal habits die hard.
For every moment of triumph we witness, we are confronted with an equal act of nihilistic horror. I do my best to stay as impassive as my guide, and yet, in this one murderous moment, I swear I feel him bristle. I just had her trained.
Not very well. Hello, Luthor.
Mr. Savage, I see you've brought King with you. Perhaps he'd like to meet everyone. Come, join us. We call ourselves the Mankind Liberation Front. You know Ibn al-Zufash, heir to Ra's al Ghul's empire. So this is the Kingdom Come version of Damian Wayne. This is before he was introduced, so they're using the name Ibn al-Zufash for him. I think that's how you pronounce it. Also, I should have said this at the beginning, but the Kingdom Come radio version really inspired me. In this, I used to listen to that all the time when I was a kid, and I love that radio. You can find it on YouTube, where this guy puts the radio comic on the actual one, and it's way better infinitely better than mine. It's amazing. But yeah, so I do recommend you guys check out that one. If you don't like this one, you should check that one out. But this is Lord Naga. Who is Cobra? Selina Kyle. Who is Catwoman? And her companion, Edward Nygma. Who is the Riddler? Who should be reminded that he is here solely as a grace to Miss Kyle. Simmer down, Eddie. Gentlemen, I need a status report. Zufash, where do we stand with medical attention and disaster relief for the Kansas victims? Delayed, but perhaps for weeks. Splendid. Tech disperser this quarter, Naga?
We have integrated another 60 vigilantes. Given the Arkham and Bellrev survivors, we re-outfitted and renamed. We are now responsible for 8% of the superhero population.
Excellent. Selina, what's the outlook on...
Whoa, pardon me for questioning, but you're impeding public service.
You're arming metahumans. Wouldn't all that serve to make the world a worse place to be? Where does the Mankind Liberation part come in? Did I miss something? Selina, for your own good, keep your guest in line. Remember, dear, curiosity killed the cat. Actually, Luthor, I had a similar concern. May I assume that the MLF works, then, to raise the stakes rather than lower them? Oh. Yes, okay. In a matter of speaking, no pain, no gain. Our objective is to heighten the tension between humans and metahumans, to bring it to a head so that humans have no choice but to reclaim the reins of world power. Regardless of the cost, there will be war, bloodshed, but in the end, mankind will once again rule the earth.
Mankind? And that would translate as you guys. Wow. When is a villain not a villain?
When he labors for a greater good, Nygma. Which brings us to our new problem. The resurfaced Justice League, and how their untimely arrival has turned our 10-year agenda
into a 10-day stratagem.
I never dreamed they'd return. Not in a million years.
Nevertheless, the gods have stepped down from Olympus. And, frankly, I see several ways to turn their arrival to our advantage. In fact, by entering into a certain alliance, I can guarantee a chance to hasten the current crisis to its end by exasperating it. And in the meantime, we have nothing to fear from the League, not even from Superman. He will not touch me. He will not. He cannot. In fact, I've got the most marvelous anti-Superman plan. Isn't that right, boy?
Absolutely, Mr. Luthor.
Who? The captain of the lightning and the thunder. Come. We have spent too much time wallowing in sin.
Yeah, like I said before, for some reason there's these slowdowns. I don't know why. It might be because of the quality of the comic, because it's so high quality. Because usually the comics I read are like really old, like older. But like the image or something to do with the processing of the images or something to do with that. But
there are other players who demand our attention.
So there's a whole bunch of cameos here. There's Lobo right there. There's Weather Wizard. There's Creeper. You can see the back of his head. There's a guy that looks like Spock. I don't know who this guy is. Apparently this guy was modeled after the Village People. There's Lady Blackhawk. I don't know who this is. I think he's named, though, or he or she is named. There's Changeling or Beast Boy. I think that's the supervillain called the Phantom, who is like a very minor supervillain who fought the Sandman in DC. There's Obsidian. There's a woman that's dressed exactly like Storm. There's Solomon Grundy. And there's Black Lightning's daughter. And there's some... Rorschach is actually right here for some reason, which doesn't really make any sense because he died, but that's kind of spoilers. There's Icicle. This character, I can't remember what his name was, but he's a very weird character. He was like a hippie character in the late 1960s, I think, or... No, I don't know. There's a character like that's Marvin from Super Friends that makes a cameo later on. I don't know this guy. I can't remember his name right now, though. But there's Eclipso. I think that was the guy I couldn't identify earlier. There's Starfire and Robin's daughter. There's Human Bomb, who joins the Justice League. And there's Mr. Miracle, Big Barda's daughter. The Creeper, Deadman, there's a little Easter egg. Deadman's actually looking right at Norman McKay and the Spectre because he can see them because he's in the afterlife. So he can see them walking. So the Human Bomb blows somebody up. So,
Good Lord!
And there's Plastic Man getting, like, ripped apart by a bunch of people.
These kids, they're monsters, beasts.
They will be tamed.
And Superman arrives. And here's actually, I think that's supposed to be the Riddler. Like, we just saw him a moment ago, but that's supposed to be him. And there's also Captain Cold, who, I guess all the rogues became, like, waiters or something. The Flash's rogues. And Kid Chameleon from Legion of Superheroes. And who else have I not... There's some I've already talked about, I think last issue's cover. See, because you can see all the rogues in the Flash. See how the rogues operate the bar. But this doesn't help. Party's over.
Oh, I'm shaking. Ain't it past your bedtime, Grandpa? What does the S stand for? Senile? Huh. Whatever you're selling, I ain't.
Will you shut up?
So that guy's supposed to be Marvin from Super Friends. For some reason, apparently he's an alcoholic or something, and he has like a biker jacket on. This guy, I can't remember. I think he has something to do with Atlantis in DC. I can't remember his name. That's all the people dressed like the Village People for like the band back in the 70s. There's Baron Wunderbar. I think that's his name is. He's an Apocalypse character. And later on, I think in this issue, you'll learn why he's here, because Apocalypse was like kind of purged, but you'll see that later on. From what is implied anyway. And then there's Spy Smasher, the new Spy Smasher. And I don't know who this guy's name is. If you guys can tell me who this guy's name is in the comments, that'd be appreciated. And this guy is Adam Smasher. I think I identified him, already. But thank you. I'm here because the world's in bad shape. We have a lot to do, and not a lot of time to do it in. I want you to join the League, willingly. Before you do, you should know that we have rules. Heroes act in a certain way. This isn't it. Yeah, sorry for stopping so much, but there's some more characters. So I think that's supposed to be OMAC from like the really obscure 70s comic, and there's Tattooed Man, and there's Taki Tani, who's a Shazam character. And over here there's Captain Boomerang, and you get a better look at Plastic Man. For some reason, Plastic Man doesn't join either the Justice League or the Outsiders. It's not really said why. I don't know who this is. I guess it's not Killer Croc because he has hair. So I don't know who that is. But and this girl is the new Catwoman. It's not said who she is or if she's related to Selena Kyle. It's not really said. And then there's Captain Boomerang. I don't know if I said his name, Captain Boomerang. And yeah, I am sorry for stopping so much, but there's so many cameos. The Black Racer is here from the New Gods. There's Eclipso again, Metamorpho. Apparently that's that guy with the white face is supposed to be Metamorpho. And Blue Devil. There's a lot of characters in this. But those of you who take up with us willingly will be expected to be as responsible as you are powerful. You'll be expected to behave better. Those who don't will be dealt with. Our job is thankless, but we do what has to be done. Right now, we're humanity's only hope. Be heroes.
Holy God.
He was here. How'd he find... Are you in? I feel like I was just asked to become the 13th disciple. What do you think? I thought my dad was being full of crap for being drafted by that guy. But now, God, I'd follow that man to Apocalypse. He's right, you know. The League knows the way.
So you heard Big Blue's pitch. Now for the Democratic response.
Time shifts, armies build, and the voice of Wesley Dodds murmurs gently to me. And there was a rainbow round about the throne, in sight unto an emerald. A quote from Revelation,
Another one. Revelation. Armageddon. Superman's troops soon wield power enough to shake the earth. Will they have enough power to save it? And if so, from what?
So this character right here is actually supposed to be Sandy the Golden Boy, the new Sandman. That's who he's supposed to be. I don't know if I said that with the collage of all the characters' faces, but that's why he's not Wesley Dodds, because obviously he dies at the beginning of the story. But that Sandy the Golden Boy took over the mantle of Sandman. I don't know which way this is. Okay.
America heals, but America is not the world. Stronger in number, the League begins to confront anarchy on a global scale. As on their home territory, Superman's army begins to meet with success more infrequently. Most metahumans fall into line at the mere sight of the man from Krypton.
And right here is Astro Boy. You can kind of see his face right there because they're in Tokyo, I guess. Or Osaka or somewhere in Japan. And here they're in India.
Many do not. Clearly, each rebellion further frustrates him. Social government was never Superman's arena. Is it possible that the constant pressures thrust upon him as an emerging world leader could bend even a man of steel to the breaking point? Meanwhile, those closest to Superman begin to whisper another question. In all these missions, they ask, how is it they have yet to unearth Magog? With his super senses, Superman should be able to find anyone if he's looking.
It's not supposed to be this way.
What?
We shouldn't have to fight this hard.
You said it yourself, Cal. We do what we have to do.
And yet, we're ending up with more captives than converts. What do we do with those who refuse to see the light?
I have a suggestion. Follow me. Quite the kingdom, Arthur. An architecture worthy of Paradise Island. Every bit as beautiful as any place above the sea.
More. The tides of time have been kind to you, Princess. You have not aged a day since we last met.
Would that the outside world had fared so well, Arthur. But times above have grown hard and harsh. The seas provide the perfect buffer between your world and ours. Bearing that in mind, we have come to ask permission to create here an underwater penal colony for rebellious metahumans.
What? Don't insult me by acting disingenuous, Superman. It's not as if we're unused to being burdened with the surface world's refuse. Permission denied.
Arthur, if you could only see the trouble we're in up there. Join us. Stand at our side as you did in your youth.
A faint invitation. Though I miss the camaraderie. You know I was never comfortable being your Aquaman. I have long since ceded then my name and role to my protege. I understand many of our old friends have followed suit. My subjects need me, Princess. You have hundreds of champions to defend a few land masses. I protect the other 70% of the world, and there is only one of me. I have responsibilities you cannot even dream of. You, Princess, surely understand how uneasy
lies the head that wears a crown.
I no longer have my royal station, Arthur.
No.
Yes. Recently, my Amazon sisters decreed that I had failed in my mission as an ambassador. That I had not made the world a better place. They stripped me of my royalty and of my heritage. I am no longer welcome on Paradise Island.
I'm sorry, but that has no bearing on my decision.
Then resume your solitude, Arthur. Relish your world, for so long as it lasts.
How long were you planning on keeping that from me?
Which? The prison? Or my loss?
Both, Diana. You have changed, and I don't like what you're asking me to do. I'm not used to forcing others to follow my lead. Now I'm supposed to jail those who won't? To act as judge, jury, and jury against my own kind? Or our own kind? That's a fascistic line, Diana.
Then get ready to cross it. We are at war, Cal. And we will take prisoners. We will have to. They're not our kind. We're protectors of humanity. They are barely human.
Is this you talking, Diana?
I sense so much anger in you. Not anger, Cal. Passion.
Excuse me, but we thought you'd want to know.
Know what? It's Magog, Superman. We found him.
Gently. Gently. Oh, no.
What are you doing back in Kansas, Magog?
Well, well. Look who it is. The Metropolis Milquetoast. I never left, Blue Boy.
I saw the news footage of your last mission, and believe me, it will be your last. I never thought you'd go this far, over the top. You led 6 unstable powerhouses against one pathetic parasite. An overkill gesture that murdered 1 million people.
And what are you gonna do about it? Just go ahead. Take a swing. Punish me. Try to lock me away. If you got the guts.
I'm not afraid of you, Magog.
Oh, get out of town. No, wait. You already did that. Actually, you got a lot of nerve blaming me. This was your fault.
My fault?
Think back. You're the one who let himself get strung up by the men on the street. Vox Populi, man. Out with the old, in with the new. Brighter, faster, meaner. Next year's model. That's what the hungry crowd always wants. Had to have been eating at you for a while before I even came into town. Hell, they were calling you old-fashioned when I was a teenager. World's oldest Boy Scout. But you wouldn't change. You wouldn't get in step. You wouldn't flex with the times. Remember? The Daily Planet asked if that's why the Joker got so many notches on his belt when he blew into our town. How many did he take out just that last time? 92 men and 1 woman. Hell, we both tore up the city looking for that bastard. I really thought you or Batman would get to him first. Even I almost missed him. Almost.
I will never forget the look on your face when you saw me standing over that smoking creep. All the way to jail, I thought. What a sap. What an old woman. Blue Boy's dragging me in for having stones he doesn't. Times are tough. Joker'd been deserving worse than cuffs for years, so I took it on myself to lay him down. I can't be judged for that, and I was right. So it says Magog acquitted. And so this was the newspaper in the flashback. And DA Justice Dunn, Metropolis Marvel, random Metropolitans tell us who best defends their future. Magog 77%, Superman 87%. And there's a bunch of newspaper. I don't know if you guys want me to read that though, but they do mention Prankster and Toyman. I guess by the time this comic happens, those two villains are dead. I'm assuming. But I was a hero. But you just wouldn't roll with it. You had to get in the last shot and piss me off. I wanted that torch passed. I wanted to cement my claim as Metropolis's new #1. I asked for a title bout between you and me, and I won by default when you flew off with your cape between your legs. I never got a piece of you, and now you're right here, right where I want you. The way you took off, I always thought that you were afraid of me. A lot of people did. But that wasn't it. You were afraid that I was the man of tomorrow. You were afraid of the future I represented. So another little thing, Jimmy Olsen is actually one of the people who died because his signal watch, I think that's supposed to be a signal watch. And he has red, I think that's supposed to be Jimmy Olsen. So he was killed in the Metropolis attack as well. Well, look around you. This is what I represent. You must be proud. Proud? Proud? God damn you! Proud of being the man of tomorrow? Your fault, you bastard. The world changed, but you wouldn't. So they chose me. They chose the man who would kill over the man who wouldn't. And now they're dead. 1,000,000 ghosts. Punish me. Knock me away. Kill me. Just make the ghosts go away. We are at war. And so he goes to Apocalypse now. War. An art that with one finishing stroke I finally mastered. But to what ultimate triumph? Apocalypse is still helpless with those who cannot, will not help themselves. Often have I considered uprooting the more abhorrent lowlies, exiling them to some distant orb. But it seems unconcilable to inflict such grievous wounds on another planet. I'm sure you agree. Far be it from me to argue with the Lord of Apocalypse. I'm impressed age has calmed your legendary temper. You seem fully in control. You've more like Darkseid than ever, Orion. So it was written to be. Our story has always been a generational one. It is said that many men eventually become their fathers.
I wouldn't know. I heard you finally usurped Darkseid's throne. I was curious to see what you'd accomplished in his stead. Not much. Frankly, Orion, of all the old allies I've encountered, you disappoint me the most. You're a god. You have the power to change your world, or to destroy it. You would be surprised, I fear, at how easily one can lead to the other. I thought I had transformed Apocalypse by finally overthrowing Darkseid's despotic rule. Imagine the horror of learning that, to the lowlies ground under Darkseid's heel since Apocalypse was young, liberty was every bit as paralyzing as fascism. They rushed to elect a new leader. They chose me. Such was my reward. So bring them to my realm, Superman. Bring them to me, those whose presence on your world you consider too threatening. They cannot possibly be more challenging to me than my own subjects. Deportation was never my intent. I have no desire to see anyone removed from their homeworld. Given the nature of my own struggle, I had hoped that Orion, the dog of war, could lend some wisdom. But I was mistaken. I can learn nothing from you. That hardly matters. If this is about emancipating a world from fear's tyrannical shackles, it isn't my help you need.
Never enough to free your bodies. You must first unlock your minds. We will show you that a slaughterhouse is not a home. When you reach out and touch freedom, you tower as tall as Orion. He fears you, for you can dream of things beyond him.
I see. A lesson plan complete with visual aids. I always suspected you two would end up as teachers. So much the better for what I have in mind, because I need a very special kind of help. Are you and Barda in? Don't say in. It's too confining.
You'll need a security force in the facility. I'll put together the best. There you are, Superman. I came to retrieve you from Orion's lair, but you were gone. Hurry! I cannot keep the boom tube open much longer.
I see you've been recruiting. You were counting on us to work alongside Avia? I was told that your story has always been generational. Let's go.
Time folds, and a new structure rises from the ashen fields of Kansas. An invention of necessity, a stronghold of justice. It seems unwise to contain so much power and fury under one roof, and yet, what other choice does Superman have?
It is a question he will ask himself 100 times in the days to come. Meanwhile, an ungodly fellowship has begun to manifest, one that may change all that we know thus far. Observe. Congratulate our friend Zufash for negotiating the one union that may yet make the world safe for mankind. Friends, I present to you our newest ally in the war against the gods. The Batman. They've begun to build the Gulag. You know this. I know that I don't want to spend my remaining days there. I can hardly believe you're here. If I'd known that a common enemy could bring us together, I would have invented one years ago. This must be killing you. Given the circumstances,
What choice do I have but to throw in with Lex Luthor?
alone, neither you nor I can expect victory. But together, we can curtail the Justice League once and for all. And that's the end of the second issue. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, that'd be appreciated. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys later.